we'll get... We're live!
We're live!
Hello! Welcome to this special edition of Black Armada Tales to celebrate the launch of the Ex Tenebris Kickstarter. Yay!
Yay!
Have you pressed the red button on the Kickstarter, Josh?
I pressed the red button on the Kickstarter about 2 minutes ago, and it even has a backer, so that's extremely exciting.
2 backers.
Two backers.
Oh no, sorry, 9 backers.
I wasn't hitting refresh hard enough.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, 9 backers so far. That's brilliant.
Yay, good job, 9 backers. Let me tell you about it. If you just found it, Ex Tenebris is a star-spanning gothic investigation game. You play the Guardians of Moira, a ragtag team charged with protecting the galaxy from indescribable supernatural horrors. We are 3/5 of the cast of Black Armada Tales. As is traditional, Ed is late. We don't know where he is yet. He's probably walking the dog.
I've seen though that Seeds34 has joined us.
Hello,
Thank you very
Seeds34.
much. Hello, it's lovely to see you.
And Nick has had... oh, here is Ed. Ed has appeared. I'm going to add him to the stage.
Yes.
Hello, Ed. We're live. Please do not swear.
That's going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, I know. Our other cast member, Nick, has had root canal surgery today. This was not planned. We didn't know this was happening, so he may not be arriving. And if he does, he may sound quite funny. But we promise not to laugh at him. Anyway, we are nevertheless Black Armada Tales, and we're going to be playing some Ex Tenebris. We are also going to be talking about the game and generally chatting. And if anybody who's watching this has questions about Ex Tenebris or anything else like snacks or whatever, we would love to hear those questions. So just chuck them in the chat, and in theory, we should be able to see them. So I'm going to introduce us in a second, like individually, but does anyone want to tell me if I've forgotten something really obvious? Pledge to the Kickstarter, please.
Yeah,
the link
pledge to Kickstarter.
is in the notes to this video, or if you're watching it on the Kickstarter page, then I don't know what to tell you. You're already there. Just press the button.
No, I don't think there's anything. I think that we should just crack on with talking about snacks, obviously.
Yeah, we'll be doing some. I'm sure we will do that. So let me...
Mira's here. Hello, Mira.
Oh, hooray. Yay, Mira. Hello. I'm going to introduce myself. I am Josh Fox. My pronouns are he and him. I am the designer of Ex Tenebris, and I will be GMing Ex Tenebris. And I have with me 4 fantastic players. No, 3 fantastic players, maybe 4 later, who
One
are...
in spirit.
I'm going to go in alphabetical order by player name for simplicity this time. And can you please introduce your character and just tell people who they are for people who haven't listened to the Ex Tenebris on Black Armada Tales before?
Absolutely. So I am Becky, pronouns she and her. I'm going to be playing Tamsi, the resurrected character playbook. And what's interesting about the resurrected character is that they once were dead and then they were brought back to life. I used to be the leader of the Moira team. I died in a mission and then I've been brought back to life to lead them again. I'm going to pass over to Ed now.
Oh, right, yeah. Hi, I'm Ed Tomlinson, as I remember. I'm he and him. I play Galen, the Tarnished Badge, or the Tarnished Badge. And she is grim and dark, possibly because she was formerly married to Tamsi, and then she went and got herself killed. And then obviously I consoled myself by getting remarried. I don't know what the time gap is. We've never really talked about that.
Too soon.
Couple of weeks. And so now she's back, obviously anguish and heartache and indecision and emotions. So that's Galen. Who's a she and her, by the way?
I guess that leaves me. Hi everyone, I'm Sue Elliott. My pronouns are she and her, and my character is Orion, the Relic. The Relic is an ancient war machine that has been switched back on. Orion uses it, he, and she pronouns. We kind of decided that its gender is an area that it's kind of exploring. It is relentlessly cheerful, quite naive, and absolutely deadly in a fight.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm looking forward to
allegedly.
seeing some fights with Orion, and it's going to be good.
Prove
We're
it.
also missing Nick, pronouns he, him, who plays Hamda, the technologist. He's kind of a, what would you say, like an artifact thief / artifact expert who knows about magic and technology, but is a little bit naughty on the side. Or maybe he's a bit naughty and is a little bit of an investigator on the side. I'm not sure which way
Yeah,
around
I
that
think
is.
it swings. It's sort of a pendulum, isn't it?
Sure is. But he may or may not be joining us. Nevertheless, he's part of the group. So we're going to be doing a flashback for today's session. That's the plan. Now, this is part of the Ex Tenebris mechanics. So when you first create your characters in Ex Tenebris, you'll create the individual characters. You create your team. So you're part of an organization called Moira, who are the ragtag investigators of supernatural things in this universe, and kind of regarded as being like galactic rat catchers by ordinary people. And then you create a backstory flashback. And after if you're playing a campaign, then after each investigation that you complete, you create a new backstory flashback, so that as we're learning about your characters in real time, we're also learning about their past. And in this case, I think we may be planning a flashback that goes back to before Tamsy died. So that's exciting because we've not seen that yet, I don't think.
No, we haven't.
I'm going to draw breath to have a quick look at the actual page, because I should be paying some kind of attention to the fact that we're running a Kickstarter while we do this live stream, and maybe shout about it. We have already got 32 backers. Thank you very much, 32 backers.
Thank you so much.
That is 1/6 or so of the way to funding. Amazing. Anyway, I'll do that
That's
every
really
so often.
cool.
The flashback. So I was thinking that it might be cool. Has everybody seen the front cover illustration for Ex Tenebris? I presume so. At least one of you animated it recently. I was thinking it might be quite cool if we set up a backstory flashback that's aimed at making that a thing that happened to your characters.
Love it.
If that's okay with everyone?
Yeah, brilliant.
Ed, you're very quiet. Is your audio working?
Yeah, I'm trying to join the chat, but there's some problem with my YouTube account. So as is always the way, some technical problem prevents me from fully enjoying the online experience.
Oh, if you open the YouTube page and mute it, then you should be able to see the chat that way.
Okay, let's
Maybe. It's kind of up to you whether you feel like going to that extra length. We will shout out if anybody asks any interesting questions. I don't think anybody has, or my chat is also not working. Cool. So we have to select one of the backstory templates for creating our little backstory flashback. That's part of the game's mechanics. You get to choose one of them, and then what we do is we kind of crowdsource what happened. We're going to do a special thing for this episode if we have time, and if I can get the wherewithal to actually figure out how to do it, where we may actually play through it a little bit using the game's regular mechanics. But normally you would just ask questions, the players will answer them, and you build up a little kind of vignette of what happened. So the backstory flashback templates are disaster, which is obviously where something went wrong. More than it seemed, where you have a backstory flashback that something else was going on more than you at first thought, and maybe there are still some secrets outstanding.
Can I just ask a quick question, Josh?
Yes, you certainly can.
Are these past missions that are that our team have been on, and the descriptor that you're giving is you were on a past mission, and the notable thing about that past mission was that it was more than it seemed, or
Yes,
is that
exactly
what we're aiming at? Brilliant.
That's correct, yes.
Sorry, it's just that I know that, but there might be people watching this who
No,
don't.
everybody who's watching this is intimately familiar with Ex Tenebris, I'm sure,
Yes.
or possibly not. Yes, good point, Becky. Well made. Then we've got Triumph Against the Odds, which I think you might already have done as your
Yeah,
previous one.
I think that's the one we
Yeah.
picked.
Yeah, I should have said this is our ongoing campaign of Ex Tenebris, which we are running on Black Armada Tales, our actual play podcast. So we are kind of partway through, but we'll do our best to explain any context as we go. So you've done Triumph Against the Odds. We've got A Close Call, which I guess is like Disaster, but, you know, it didn't actually disaster. Then you've got The One That Got Away. That's a fun one because it means that you're going to get somebody coming back maybe. And then Just an Ordinary Mission, which is like, you know, let's just see what one of your regular missions is like.
I know that I speak for everybody by saying just an ordinary mission is
Sounds
not,
awesome.
Sounds
Probably not that normal.
sounds not that normal. I think that I think we should go for something that's probably a bit more disastrous than that. Not necessarily disaster, but something that's a bit more to it than just an ordinary mission. For the live, you want to do it interesting for the live?
So you should not do an ordinary mission, you're saying?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Do you
not
have
sure there is such a thing.
Is there one you think would be cool? I was kind of eyeballing A Close Call, but
I like that one, and I like The One That Got Away.
Yeah, I like The One That Got Away.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to go for, because then maybe we can introduce some awful NPC that then you can bring back into the main session when we go back to our main game.
yes. Okay. I'd be up for that. Like, remember we're doing this kind of. I should have described the cover, by the way. Anyone who's watching this that hasn't seen it is going to be very confused. But essentially, the cover image is this kind of giant, upside down, alien, kind of semi-biological, semi-technological monolith, like a stalactite, and at the tip of the stalactite or stalactite?
Stalactites. I have a system, Josh.
Okay, hold on tight. You know this. Is a kind of glowing white portal out of which is coming the legs of this kind of scary looking white, maybe demonic, maybe technological spider thing. Yeah, so just remember that's going to be the monster, I guess, unless that's like your buddy who was part of the mission. But maybe somebody summoned it, or maybe somebody created the monolith or woke it up or something. So that could be the one that got away. Probably not the spider. That wouldn't be a very fun recurring villain. Or maybe it's a wisecracking spider. I don't know.
Shapeshifter.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it sounds like we all like The One That Got Away. So I will just scroll to that one. And so the first question is always, what threat did you face? And we answer these questions together. So
Nice.
Obviously, the threat that you face must, in some sense, be a big monolith with a portal and a spider. But like, what was that all about?
So I don't think in our current game we've done anything particularly with cultists.
No. I mean, arguably, your current investigation, the one which is going out on Black Armada Tales at the moment, has a slightly cultish angle, but not with backstories.
Not with backstories. And they all, arguably, potentially everything in this world could have cultists in it if you squinted hard enough.
Oh, yeah.
But I am a fan of cultists summoning something well beyond what they understand, and other people having to come and clean up the mess.
Can I throw a curveball? Because it came to me this morning, and I thought I really want to throw that in, so I'm just going to do it now. Automata. So can we think automata and cultists combined in some way?
I do love Automata.
summoning demons into automata shells to give them a physical form in this reality, perhaps? Would that hit your curveball enough or not, Ed?
I was wondering whether you could have automata actually being involved in the summoning ritual somehow. So they're
Oh my
actually
God, I love it.
kind of the cult, but like they're all remotely controlled by another mastermind somehow, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. But
I
cult of
think
automata.
it's either an Eisenhorn or a Ravenor story where they start using computers to like try and decode some sort of demonic language.
Mhm.
And that ends up summoning something or going horribly wrong. Like, I'm sure that there's a Warhammer 40k story, in Inquisition story around that,
Mhm.
and I do love that.
I also really like, there's again, Warhammer 40k is a big inspiration behind Ex Tenebris. I think there's a concept of a demon engine in Warhammer 40k. It's like a possessed machine. So it's kind of, it's a machine, but it's possessed, but then the possession turns the machine demonic, and it's, yeah, I really love that. But anyway, I'm not sure that's really what you were saying.
So are you saying that the automata are trying to summon the demon? And is that because somebody set their programming up to do that, or have they like broken loose of their programming and decided to do that? Which is the one that kind of hits your button the best, Ed?
Discuss.
Well, what if you had a ritual that could only be completed like by having people do stuff at locations that would be difficult for a human to get to? So they get like drones or something or automata to do the.
Or something that requires like superhuman speed or strength or something.
Yeah, or like maybe the sounds involved in the ritual can't be made by a human mouth.
Yeah, all of those.
Yes, all of that.
Did we just chat? Did they just like chat GPT the apocalypse?
Whoops.
ChatGPT, please create me an apocalypse about 3,000 words.
I don't think you can
Keep
even
it
say
formal.
that. I don't think you can even say those words out loud on the internet in case OpenAI hears it and
please,
does
listeners,
that.
do not ask ChatGPT to do that. We're not sure what will happen. It probably won't be very good, and not in an eldritch way, just in a sort of crap, low quality apocalypse way.
How embarrassing. Low quality apocalypse.
You know, just like
yeah.
I think
A
we might be in
lo-fi
that
apocalypse.
apocalypse already, actually. So
yes, that's kind of where we are. I quite like some of them losing their marbles though in the process. So I don't know whether that's something that means that the ritual goes off track and does something that was unintended, or that
or
it
someone's
goes on track
hacked it.
based on what they took over the idea. Like maybe it was being led by somebody, and then it kind of they actually realized they wanted to do something completely different with the ritual. That means that something even worse comes out. I don't know.
I have always liked the idea that the people completing the ritual and playing all the roles and stuff are not necessarily in on everything it's supposed to do. So whether somebody else has put an extra subroutine in the automata that takes the ritual in a slightly different dimension that nobody else realizes, or something like that. I'm always a fan of, we've all turned up and we think we're here to do this thing. And yeah, okay, it's a bit dark side and evil. But oh no, someone who is even more dark side and evil than us had pulled the wool over our eyes, and it's so much worse.
Yeah.
I mentioned the other day, possibly at a Black Armada Tales session, that I just read Desolation Road. Mild spoiler for Desolation Road. There's a sort of religious group in it who wants to replace all of their flesh with technological parts. I think they call it the total mortification of the flesh. So you could imagine a group of people who actually want to make themselves like immortal by putting themselves in these metal bodies, but they're actually, the metal bodies do something different and it goes wrong. What's this got to do with this fucking spider, though?
That's the thing that goes wrong.
That's just a whoops.
So I like the idea. What if some sort of the alloy or the material that the automata are made of channels the energies in a different way than was intended?
Yes. Keep going.
I don't know.
Something spider.
Something spider. Or is the spider that all of the automata bodies that did the summoning ritual have ended up getting glommed together to create a kind of exoskeletal form for the demon to inhabit?
I mean, like a spider is a weaver, right? It's a weaver of things. It's a creator of order out of nothing. So the idea that a spider summoning a spider god might result from trying to make.
Yeah, sort of coordinating lots of individual complex tasks to happen all in a certain sequence in order to summon it, I think.
Oh, I've just seen a comment in the chat. Kyle is smelling Necrons, Josh.
Yes. Yeah, it has got a slightly Necron-y vibe about it. All right. Well, maybe that's enough detail for now, and we can kind of spin that out a bit more when we've read some more of the questions. I will just say we are closing in on a third funded, I think. Or maybe
Oh my
that's
gosh.
slightly over again. We've got 50 backers. Thank you, 50 backers. And very exciting.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, where are the rest of the questions gone? So the remaining questions, we're gonna have 3 questions. I'll read the whole lot out and then we'll go through them one by one. So the remaining questions are: what was your plan to deal with this threat? Who never got justice because the villain got away? How did they escape? And then, those are all questions you ask together, and then you answer one or more each. Why do you have a personal score to settle with this villain? Why do you blame yourself for letting them get away? What did you prioritize over bringing the villain down? And how did you nearly catch them? And why did it fail? I think I'm going to slap all these in the chat so that people can see them a bit more easily. If that's going to work.
While you're doing that, I'm going to ask a couple of questions for the team as well, which is just for me, I think it'd be quite helpful to get a sense of where this is taking place. Do we think this is like Motherlode City, or a big hive city, or the asteroid city, Motherlode City? Do we think it's like, I know that some of the stories take place on remote planets, but is this like a kind of in the middle of a big city, or is it a spaceport on a sparsely populated agri-planet, or what? Do you guys have a feel for that?
I'm thinking, so obviously we've mentioned that there are multiple locations where the not Necrons, we'll call them that just in case we get sued by Games Workshop. I'll never figure it out.
That'd be a bad start to the Kickstarter campaign.
The Notrons. Yeah, they're all, I suppose there are multiple sites for the ritual or events that occur, but I think I quite like it being in a very highly populated location.
Yes. As Seeds34 says, the cover looks like a large megacity, although having said that, that could mean a massive space station, and Motherlode's supposed to be quite big too. Prith is the big hive city that's been defined in the setting, so it could be that, and it's near your base of operations.
What were you thinking? Not that then?
What? No, I was thinking yes to that.
No, Becky.
My brain had gone like an extra step actually. It had gone, okay. Oh yeah, okay, big hive city like Prith. Because we talked about were automatons being used because some of the places that they had to go to complete the ritual were not safe for humans? What if some of those places were in the vacuum of space around Prith?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That might be quite nice. So sorry, I'd gone, oh yeah, large city. No, I've incorporated that. Yes, and
All right, okay.
that was my yes and face,
But
Ed.
Prith is
Oh,
like
okay.
the focus. So you've got whatever's going to happen on Prith, but
Yeah.
you've got ritual sites in orbit, like on moons or something, or.
Oh, I like the idea of just there's an automata in one location which is literally just suspended in space.
Yes.
It's like
some
the
sort of-
spaceship came, it dropped off the automata, the spaceship went away, and it's like hanging almost like a satellite
Yeah.
in space.
Yeah. Maybe it had to
Sure.
sit there for like a really long period of time, because
Oh,
otherwise the
yeah.
spaceship could just do the ritual on the spaceship, wouldn't you? But if it's got to be there for like a few years or something.
It's like hanging in space, and this program is running, and maybe the summoning has taken like 3 years, and it had to just hang there for 3 years, and all the others. And I think that'd be good in terms of were this a real mystery that we had investigated, we would have avenues of investigation, like why did all these weird satellite contracts suddenly get given to this company or this house or whatever. So it'd been really good investigatory avenues for that.
Nice. These are all amazing things. However, none of it helps with any of the questions.
Is this as usual then?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well done, everyone.
Is this all the chat that normally gets cut out by
No, I wouldn't cut this stuff
edited out?
Do we have to answer the questions in order, or can we kind of flip around?
Yeah, do anything that occurs to you as long as they're all answered by the end. Oh, and about the monolith, C34 just mentioned the monolith. We have some cool art which in my head at least depicts Prith, and it's got these kind of alien looking monolith structure things, and they're kind of curved, so they go up and then they come round and then they hang down. So you could actually imagine one of those is the monolith if you want. Yeah, so the questions. I will remind you, what threat did you face? I think we've really well established quite a lot of that now. But what was your plan to deal with it?
Hide.
Did you just say hide?
Yeah.
I thought you said pie.
Pie. That was our backup plan. Pie.
Yeah.
If all else fails, that is our 100% our backup plan.
Yeah, Orion's just straight in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Baking furiously.
Baking fries. What's our plan to deal with it? Disrupt.
Yeah, we've got to kind of override the programming somehow, maybe, or.
So I'm imagining if you were to draw like a pattern of where all these automata are, it would kind of create a web shape in space. Nice. And I'm thinking we're going to try and disrupt it enough that the web shape kind of gets broken up or misshapen. So multiple coordinated attack points at specific times.
I've got an additional suggestion for potentially one of those attack points, but it kind of depends on some things I don't understand about the relic. So how easy / foolhardy would it be for the relic to jack into that network and create an extra node of programming that was wrong?
I think it wouldn't be without risk, obviously. I think also with Hamda's assistance, that's something we could definitely do. Yeah.
I was thinking we were going to make you pretend to be an automaton by putting a little fake moustache on you and shooting you into space.
Yeah.
But your plan also works. Okay, that's fine. We'll go with that.
I think it's a yes and, Ed. It's like my plan and your plan. They're just the same plan, aren't they?
Yeah, reprogram and fake mustache. All plans.
Yes. So you're trying to reprogram like these automata that are doing the ritual. Interesting.
By
what about-
joining the network and
Mm.
creating an extra point of connection in the web that then spreads out.
Disrupts the web, basically.
Disruptive programming, yeah.
Now we have to, so we've got two questions here which are going to be interesting to answer given everything you've already created. One is who never got justice because the villain got away? So there's like, who's the victim here?
Hmm.
And then the question, how did they escape? Which is maybe a bit easier to answer, but you still kind of need to know who it is that escaped.
Well, I've got an idea for who didn't get justice, but I don't want to kind of leap in if Sue and Ed have got thoughts. So do you have anything, Sue?
Not about that one. I was thinking about the villain getting away. I don't know if we ever managed to track down their physical location. I think we were chasing them across like networks. This is turning into like a computer hacking
And space.
adventure.
it's a computer. It's going to be like a Star Wars. There's going to be two parts of the team, like there always is. One in space, one in virtual reality.
Yeah, so like as part of your plan, you're trying to locate both the focus of the ritual, but also the person who is controlling it from behind the scenes. And maybe because we know this big spider thing is somehow involved, maybe you ended up having to prioritize that rather than going after the person who's actually behind the ritual.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
What was your idea, Becky?
So I was thinking about the people who didn't get justice, and I was wondering if we could include in that the automata themselves. Maybe they're almost sentient. Maybe the ritual makes them become sentient.
Yes.
They were just tools. They didn't really know what was being asked of them. They were just being used. I don't know. I mean, you're the one who wanted to bring the automata in, Ed, so I don't want this to kind of change your vision for them.
No. I think that's where I was thinking maybe they do get sentience and they then become like a rogue, free-thinking automata with their own plans and machinations, potentially.
I guess I was thinking as well, to build on that, like if you're an automata and you have been deposited like a satellite in space, running this program, this magical ritual, presumably you're going to start opening yourself up to Tenebrium energies, and you're going to be in that state, open to Tenebrium energies for 3 years. Like, who alone knows what that would do to an automata in that time? Like no human would open themselves up and just sit soaking in Tenebrium energies for 3 years without expecting some pretty serious consequences.
Yes.
So what happens to the automata?
Yeah. So
Murderous.
like maybe the automata got away.
No, well, mine was the automata didn't get justice because they were victims, and it was the villain who were put in that position by somebody else.
Okay, so
Or is that too convoluted?
No, it's not too convoluted. Just what you're saying is the automata actually are people.
I don't think they were when this all started, but 3 years of sitting in a Tenebrium soup running a program designed to interact with something in the Tenebrium changes a robot.
Right.
So I'm thinking this sentient automata probably doesn't like us. Probably doesn't like the original person behind the original master plan here as well, potentially, right?
Yeah.
So they're their own new villainous creation based off the back of this.
Well, maybe villainous, maybe just slightly
misunderstood.
misanthropic.
Yeah. Slightly murdery, who knows? One of those.
Maybe, yeah, they might murder someone. All right, nice. Did we answer some questions? I think we did.
Where are the questions? Oh, there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, something went wrong with me posting them into the chat, so I don't know. You can kind of read it if you if you've got a certain kind of brain.
Who never got justice?
Have a look at
got
those
away,
individual questions, because I'm going to ask them to you in a minute. But first, I would like to refresh the page and see we are a third funded.
Whoa!
64 backers. Thank you, everybody. And I'm going
So
to
good. So
take a
cool.
moment to just mention our stretch goal writers. No, they're not stretch goal writers. I keep calling them that because I can't seem to stop doing it. But they're not stretch goal writers because we're not doing stretch goals. We're basically saying let's have all of the stretch goals funded up front at the beginning. So these are all people who are definitely going to be writing for Ex Tenebris. We have Yoon Ha Lee, the author of Nine Fox Gambit, which if you have not read it, you absolutely should do that because it's an amazing, weird, sort of magical and science fiction storyline that was a big inspiration behind Ex Tenebris. And I know Becky loves Nine Fox Gambit. I can see you vibrating.
I've read it 4 times now.
Yeah, I have read it only once, but I enjoyed it 4 times as much as Becky because I don't read so fast. We've got Kieran Gillen of comic writing and TTRPG fame, including the Die RPG. We're big fans of Kieran's work. We've got Sarah Doom, who is writing. I don't want to spoil it because I'm going to release the details of what they're writing through the course of the campaign, but has an incredibly evocative pitch. Sarah seems to have this amazing sort of poetic style of writing that I really like. And of course, Sarah did Bluebeard's Bride, which we all love. Chirag Astani of, I hope I'm saying Chirag's name right, of the Desi's and Desi's and Dragons or Dungeons and Desi's? Now I've confused myself. I have to go and look that up so I don't get it wrong. Desi's and Dragons, the largest online TTRPG community in India. And again, like I really like the concept that Chirag has come up with for Ex Tenebris. I'm looking forward to sharing that with you down the line. We've got Eleanor Hingley, who we've known for a while, but did not realise quite how incredibly prolific she is, or they are, in terms of the amount of TTRPG stuff they've contributed to, including Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory, which is obviously relevant to our interests, as well as Doctor Who role-playing game and all sorts of other stuff, and has another great concept. Tejas Ozar, who is one of the authors of Bludgeon TTRPG. Very cool ideas coming from Tejas as well. And Galen Pajeur, who I first encountered through a game jam. In this game jam, he produced this amazing, beautiful, clever game. So I've been watching him ever since, and I'm really pleased that we've got to hire him. Have I forgotten anybody? Hope not.
Really hope not.
Yeah, that'd be a bit embarrassing, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think I got everyone. And by the way, we've also got Jog Brogshin, who's making, I hope I'm saying his name right as well, who's making a cool map for the game. And of course, Juana Cho is doing all of our illustrations. So really excited to have all of those people on board. Let's go back to the flashbacking, shall we?
Yes.
Has anybody got their eye on one of the personal questions? Shall I read them out again?
Can I just say, how did they escape? I'm thinking, is this space automata, and in the events it got blasted off into space like Darth Vader's TIE fighter, and has been spinning into space until it finally hits a planet, I guess, at some point.
It's funny, when you said Darth Vader's TIE fighter, I immediately thought of the 2 droids in the little escape pod. Not Darth Vader, but
all that
thing.
So are we saying that the ultimate villain was another one of the automata who came up with the whole idea, or something else?
Or that it was the corrupted automaton.
Or there was a corrupted automaton who was pulling the wool over the eyes of the others, or
So you think there's two automata, one that's been corrupted and one that was originally the master plan?
Well,
or
no,
originally-
I thought a humanoid person would
Yeah.
be behind it, a
Yeah.
flesh person, let's say, because I know there are multiple species.
Flesh
Because
bag.
there are multiple species, so I don't want to make it human centric. So not humanoid person, a flesh person. Let's just go with that. Because I know there were two other species in the game, and I think it was a flesh person behind it who set up the automata. I like the idea of them escaping by doing a bit of a Kaiser Soze. I don't want to kind of spoil the end of The Usual Suspects for anybody. So if you haven't seen The Usual Suspects and you don't want to hear about it, then you should just like
There you go, then.
mute for like the next 2 minutes. Not you, Ed. You have to stay and be spoiled.
No.
I like the idea, a bit like the end of The Usual Suspects, that we were interviewing somebody who we thought was peripherally involved.
Mhm.
And because we thought they were only peripherally involved, we just let them walk out
We had
down the
them
street.
right there.
And we had them right in the palm of our hand, and we let them go because
Yeah, okay,
we
good.
didn't realise how important they were, because they spun us
Yeah.
such an amazing tale, and
they were so
seemed-
cooperative as
they were
well.
so cooperative, and they just seemed so harmlessly sort of ridiculous, like they'd just been duped into being involved in this scheme, but it was them all along. I love that. I love that
Just
so
an
much.
innocent toy maker. That's nothing to do with anything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so I would like it to be something like that, and so I was going to say, I would take on the I blame myself for letting them get away, because I should have realised that they were not everything they seemed to be.
Why you specifically, though?
Because I'm the one who's got the best stats in those areas. So let's just say that in a more characterful way. My character is designed to be good at manipulating and probing other people and getting a good read on other people, and I utterly failed in this instance. All my normal skills just let me down.
Yeah.
But that makes it quite me-centric, so if somebody else has a better idea, then I'm happy to kind of step back.
That's good. I like it.
Well, so one of the questions is, why do you have a personal score to settle with this villain? And that will, as long as it's not you answering that one, and that will make it a lot less you-centric. But does anyone have their eye on that?
I kind of had my eye on it a little bit.
Okay.
Go, Sue, go.
Too slow.
Oh, Ed, if you want it.
Possible,
No,
more
it's
than
fine.
one person can answer a given question.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'm wondering if there's something about the programming that Orion recognizes in from its own when it was powered back on in the so for people who don't yet listen to the podcast, because you should all be listening,
At all times.
Orion was discovered in a house of a wealthy family, being used as a kind of a toy, basically, a kind of toy servant, curiosity, baking cakes and amusing guests and things like that. And I wonder if Orion kind of recognizes the fingerprint of this person, sort of in its own programming from when it was being woken up and made to serve this family.
So they're not part of the family.
Ooh.
They're or maybe not. They're the person who helped that family to bring you back to.
Yeah, I think the family were like, "Can you get this sort of up and running and make it subservient?" And
ancient restorer of ancient robotics and automata / toy making.
Yeah,
it's a shame that Nick isn't here to be Hamder, because I bet Hamder would have an interesting relationship with this character.
Mm.
We maybe have to ask Nick to answer the questions himself offline or something.
If he's watching this live stream through the haze of whatever poor pain medication he's had to take, then type it in the chat, Nick.
I bet he's lying,
Yeah.
groaning on his sofa right now. Hopefully
Mm.
hitting
Got the-
F5 on the crowdfunding page as he does it.
He's probably got that hanky around his head that gets tied up
Yeah,
in a cup like
big
Laurel and
bow.
Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm imagining his cheeks have swollen up
Mhm.
to like epic proportions.
Oh no.
It's so bad. I actually have like a dental phobia, as some people know. So
You do.
I don't know why I'm elaborating on this. What am I doing?
This is one of your lines that we usually have. We always,
I know,
when we
shut up,
play,
shut
when we
up,
do our like
help.
lines and fails, Josh always
Ripcord.
puts teeth down.
That's why Nick can't attend.
Yeah, because he was breaking one of my lines by existing. Okay. This is cool. I'm just like, this is like a slightly tangential thought that I had that you might hate, but I'm going to say it anyway because, you know, screw it. As you were talking, Becky, about why you should have realised,
Mm.
it occurred to me that a good way for maybe a villain to have a motive for doing this, while seeming like they might not have a motive, is if they had like a loved one that they wanted to bring back.
Because there's
From
ghosts in the Tenebrium.
right, exactly. Bring them back from the Tenebrium and put them into an automaton or something, you know, like bring them back to life. And so I guess you weren't the resurrected at this point, so there's no reason why this would particularly key into your abilities, but it's the kind of thing that a detective might notice, like the little signs of grieving, and that would have allowed you to piece together, no, this person isn't just a funny little workshop operating person that has got something going on in their life that connects up to this mystery. To tell me if you hate that, but it was just a thought.
I don't hate it, but I was hoping the villain might be a little bit more of a malevolent than I don't know. Sometimes when we have our stories, I want to like empathize with the villain, but I don't feel for this I particularly want to empathize with the villain.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't know.
emphasizing with the rogue automata, not the main guy.
Yeah.
I like empathizing with villains.
I know you do, and I do sometimes. Like, you know that Magneto is one of my favorite all-time villains.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Is
an
he a
anti-hero,
villain?
really.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he's more of an anti-hero. We've got
I
a friend
feel-
that we have some big rows with about the status of Magneto. But
I feel like you're
love
quite
Magneto.
villainous if you're trying to do a massive ritual to, you know, risking opening up doorways to the Tenebrium.
Killing thousands to,
Yeah, right, okay.
to
All right.
resurrect one person.
So reckless as to their actions rather than
Also,
deliberately trying to bring out the apocalypse.
it means the spider could have like a baby's head on it or something.
I do love stuff like that. Like, I really love. One of the things that I love so much about the relic. Sorry, just interlude, because as people have seen the picture of the relics on the Kickstarter or in the quick start, one of the things I love about it is this kind of massive hulking metal shell with then this just kind of like soft human face, but not really human, like uncanny valley human face, like just glommed on, but not glommed on in the place where you'd expect the face to be on this massive hulking thing, glommed on in like a slightly weird place, like in the middle of its chest or something. I just think it's
like
See,
Krang in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking Total Recall, but yeah, fine.
Seeds 34 says the toy in Sid's room in Toy Story.
exactly. That is exactly what I thought about. Yeah.
I don't know what that is. I don't think.
but more
I must have seen it.
demonic and less Meccano.
Yeah.
I do love
Yeah.
that.
All right. So is it a yes to that?
I'll take. Yeah, I've talked myself around.
Right. So personal score Orion, because this villain was also involved in like putting controls on Orion and bringing them back to life.
Mm.
Tamsy blames herself for letting them get away because Tamsy should have realised. We've got 2 more questions, and those are: what did you prioritise over bringing the villain down, and how did you? How did you know?
Yeah, how did I know?
How did you nearly catch them, and why did it fail?
But the thing is, we've almost covered that in the previous
Yeah, we might have
haven't we?
already answered it. In which case, we might have time to like roll some dice or something. I will pause for a moment because it's been going for, I don't know, like I had this grand plan to keep track of time and stuff, but you know how that goes. But we're doing all right. And I thought I might mention something about the Kickstarter because that's, you know, what we should talk about that. So what am I going to talk about? Oh yeah, playbooks. I thought it might be cool to just talk about some of the playbooks quickly.
Nice.
So maybe we could start by talking about your individual playbooks, and then I'll like add 1 or 2 at the end. Should we go in the same order we went before, Becky?
Yeah, so I'm playing the Resurrected, which is a character who's been brought back from death. And what I love about this is that the Tenebrium is obviously this kind of dark, otherworldly, other realm, kind of which abuts our reality, but is kind of a whole separate reality. And it's not just infested with horrible demons and sort of dark Tenebrium entities, but it's also where the dead go, and it's also touched on by dreaming. So it's quite a multi-layered, dark, but quite like a multi-layered reality. And I like the idea that that's where the dead go, because then you have a character class or like a playbook like the Resurrected, and you are somebody who has been and inhabited that realm as a ghost and then been brought back and put back in your body. And it kind of, there's a lot of storytelling opportunity there, I think, for what did you see, how you changed, was anything brought back with you, are you alone in your body, or is there something else there? And I think there's just a lot of opportunity for that, which then obviously the moves totally play into. But yeah, that's the Resurrected. Is that what you wanted, Josh, or do you want me to like give a rundown of what the moves and stuff actually are?
No, that was good. That was a good overview. I should have said, by the way, we're being naughty and calling them playbooks. They're actually called archetypes in the game now. But
Naybooks.
some people cannot help but betray their gaming roots. Ed, why don't you talk about?
Yeah, so I'm playing the Tarnished Badge. Tarnished Badge. I don't know whether I'm going to have such a rich description of the Tarnished Badge because I'm just sort of shaping it as I go a bit more. They're probably one of the more mundane naybooks.
Archetypes.
Which sometimes I quite like exploring because I just want to see whether they kind of can stand up to all the exotic moves that happen in other playbooks and kind of ground the group. So Tarnished Badge is connected to law enforcement and are very good at the sort of social detective kind of side of things, and also have all the kind of connections in law enforcement. But they're also a little bit of a, well, Galen is a bit of a rebel, so has that kind of difficulty with authority, which I so rarely play in my characters.
Well, that's very unlike you.
Yeah, so it's kind of defining some of the setting that I quite like the idea of, and also creating some of the organisations and structures to push against, and creating all the contacts and people that we reach out to. So yeah, that's Galen.
Yes, maybe worth saying that all of the archetypes, you must select a flaw for your character, and part of the thing with Moira, which is the organisation everybody works for here, is because they're not a high status organization with vast resources, they don't tend to get the people who are like top flight careerist amazing people. They get people who are kind of rejects or a bit broken, and
I don't know why
hence
this triggered you to think of this when I was.
because you mentioned the rebel. I feel like part of your character's kind of deal is that they are that like they're not that good at being a cop in the sense of an obedient
towing the line, right?
enforcer.
Mhm. And I think the flaw was about offending the higher up or something. I think is part of the backstory. So I think
exactly.
that's
So
probably
if
why
you
I got
because
siphoned off
the
somewhere.
tarnished badge is like an ex-cop, they often have that kind of, they're not really that good at being a cop type of aspect to their background, but they're good at being a detective. So would you like to talk about the relic?
The relic. So the relic is, I think I described it as an ancient war machine, and I think what's really nice is that the relic is a lost technology. It's not something that can be replicated now, and I think that kind of not really people not knowing kind of how it works, or it not knowing how it works itself, just provides a lot of flexibility, which is quite nice, and especially with like appearance. So I kind of my character is Nadari made. So the Nadari is another sentient species in this setting, and I wanted Orion to kind of reflect their physiology. So Orion is very sort of quite tall, very sort of long-limbed, quite elegant. It's got scales, so I suppose it doesn't really. It maybe doesn't. It's certainly a contrast from the relic that you see on the front cover of the book, and it's really nice to be able to play around with that a little bit, and think, oh well, what civilizations have been and gone and reached these really advanced levels of technology, and then that's just gone, that's lost to time, but somehow this has come back and is wreaking havoc. And it also means that you can have, so my flaw is malfunctioning, because I'm really, really old and I've been lost for a bit, and so that's fun as well. It's again, it's one of the reasons I've ended up in Moira, is that I'm maybe not all there quite software wise. Who knows?
Yeah, nice. One of the fun things about the relic as well is that you can actually take a special mystery as part of your background, which you can then investigate. And that can open up things like, how were you created, and are there any more of you out there, and that kind of thing. And of course, Becky, your character, also has a mystery. So you haven't taken that yet. So, but Becky has taken her mystery, which is part of your background. Do you want to say a little bit about that? Because we haven't yet released the recording of how we created it.
Oh no, we haven't. Okay, so one of the moves that my character can take, one of my specials, is I can take the background. I think it's called Second Chance.
Yeah.
And the Second Chance background says that the resurrected died because they were murdered, and you basically get to investigate your own murder. And I remember when Josh put out the archetype books for us to choose from when we were planning to play the campaign, and I remember you saying, Josh, oh, these are liable to change because they're still in development, so don't get too excited. And I think I remember sending you quite a strongly worded note threatening all sorts of harm if you got rid of the Second Chance move, because I badly wanted it.
Yeah, well, I had to write that at pace in order to
Yeah,
keep
you
up with your
did.
demand for for that thing.
That's so cool. Like playing a character with all of this kind of supernatural stuff because you've been in the Tenebrium and you've come out again, playing that character and then getting to investigate your own murder and not knowing how you died. I think it's super exciting.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I will mention Nick's archetype because Nick's not here. So that's the technarchologist. And the technarchologist is essentially a kind of occult and technology nerd. They're somebody who is really into the detail of how ancient technology and weird magics work. They probably might be interested in collecting that kind of stuff. They've certainly got a lot of knowledge of it, and they might be a kind of explorer / tomb robber type of character who goes out looking for that stuff. We've had some fun stuff with Nick's character Hamda being very, very interested in Orion because, you know, Orion is basically an object that Hamda might collect, and that we've had some hints that Hamda maybe is interested in Orion as a person, but also as an object. So that's quite fun tension there.
I don't think it's too spoilery to say, because I think if you go back and listen to the podcast, we've already released this episode, that his secret that he was holding from, I think I'm right in saying this, that the secret that Hamda is holding from your character, Sue, is that he has a buyer lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has a buyer lined up for the
so
relic.
bad.
So bad, but it's
No,
also
I mean,
so good.
Yeah, it's like there's no intention there, but it's there.
There's an opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, lined up implies a degree of intention, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's the technarchologist. And I also wanted to mention there's like 11 or 12 archetypes, so I'm not going to go through them all, but and there may be another couple more that I'll write. But I want to mention the Thanaturge because I think it's an interesting one. This is obviously a world with occult stuff going on. There are people with occult abilities called weavers. Anyone can weave rituals, magical rituals. If you actually do it, then you're a weaver. But if you do the kind of really dark stuff, then you are a Thanaturge. And that is illegal unless you have been sanctioned and specially trained. See, if you take the Thanaturge archetype, then you are a sanctioned Thanaturge. Hello, Davey! Yay!
Hi! Oh, we are on mute and facing away from your high school
okay.
students.
Can somebody
very
figure out how
sensible.
to sign to Davey? Hello. Oh, that's really distracted me. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Thanaturge. So the Thanaturge is the type of character that is interested in death, in demons, in the Tenebrium. They might have the ability to dive deeply into the Tenebrium and plumb its secrets. They might have the ability to speak with the dead or even to bring the dead back to life. So they're a pretty cool, possibly slightly dark sidey type of character. And one of the fun mechanics in the game is that everybody has a shadow track which they can build up, and if you in exchange for bonuses to your dice rolls, you add shadow to your shadow track. If you let it grow and grow, then you start to move down a dark path and become not just a flawed character, but maybe a character who might need to be put down. And I think the Thanaturge is maybe a bit more than most primed to head down that track because a lot of their powers actually add shadow to their shadow track.
Can I
It's
add
not-
a bit of... Oh, sorry, Ed. You go.
I was going to say it's not an XP track, unlike some people think in the group.
It is an XP.
No, but Nick thinks it is.
It's like the Ruin track in Apocalypse Keys, and what I remember from when we all played Apocalypse Keys is that me and Nick strongly thought the Ruin track was just a secondary XP track. and none of the rest of you seem to agree with us, but you were wrong.
Well,
I was going to
we'll
add a bit more detail, Josh, if I can, just some background detail. A detail about the setting that I really like, which is that thaumaturges are dark mages, but if you are a thaumaturge, you can work for Moira and become sanctioned. And I like that kind of. I like it. It reminds me of some of the bits that I really like in Warhammer 40k with psychers who have been sanctioned and psychers who have not, and that sort of thing. And I like the idea of the walking the tightrope, I think, of recognizing these people have skills which are necessary for fighting demons, but also recognizing if they put one foot off that tightrope, then you're going to be hunting them down. Things like that. So I just really like that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, where were we? The questions.
You were going to do a 5-minute comfort break at 5.
And it's past 5. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, we are going to go on comfort break. I don't know if there's any way to like signal to people who are watching that we're on a comfort break.
Maybe we should go stagger it, and I'll just spend 5 minutes talking about the books I'm currently reading, and then somebody else can swap in.
Or you could put you could create a slide with "We are on a comfort break" and then put it on presentation mode.
You can tell
I
that
don't know how to do that,
Ed's a
Ed.
tech wizard.
You've got
I'm not
present
clever
there.
enough.
You've got the present button, haven't you?
Well, what happens if I press it?
Well, then it'll
Why don't
share
you
your
just present?
screen.
It'll share
No, I'm frightened of that.
Okay,
Something will go wrong and I'll never be able to get my screen back or something.
Let's go in shifts then. I'll stay on for 5 minutes.
Okay, that amuses me to just leave you there talking about
Just me?
I thought this was a live
monologuing.
stream with like 4 people on it. There's just this person talking about books.
Someone stay on to me. Who of the 3 of you is most interested in the books I'm currently reading? Then you can stay and listen. Good, and then you can tell me what you're reading, and then we'll have a good time.
All right, so we have the Becky and Sue show, and then the Josh and Ed show.
Yeah.
All right, Ed.
All right, see
you
in
in a few.
Oh, right. They've gone. Now we can talk serious. What are you reading at the moment, Sue?
I have started several books. Not got through all of them, any of them, in fact. So I started Marathon Man ages ago, about 2/3 of the way through that. That's great.
Good. Tick.
I am reading Tim Key's latest book of poetry called LA Baby.
Is it good?
Really fun. Yeah, it's really nice. And he works with a graphic designer called Emily Juniper, and they make these absolutely. Have I got it here? No, I don't.
Emily couldn't have a cooler name, could she?
Right? Yeah. They make these absolutely exquisite books with just it's gorgeous. So there's that. There's I'm reading Frankenstein.
Really?
Yes.
Have you not read it? Have you read it before?
Read it before? No.
Oh.
So I'm reading the later edition because we are going to Bournemouth soon for like we're staying nearby, but we're going for a day trip to Bournemouth where Mary Shelley is buried along with her parents. So we thought we'd go and pay our respects.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And
you don't hear enough about people going to famous graves. Like I remember back in the 90s, it was a thing. We should bring that back.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I'm reading that, loving it. That's really great. And then I'm also reading a book called The Unsophisticated Arts by sort of mid-century artist called Barbara Jones, and it's all about what she calls the vernacular arts. So things like fairgrounds and piers and like funeral paraphernalia and all this kind of
brilliant,
all that kind of stuff. And that's also really beautiful and good. So that's
amazing.
the array of stuff. At some point, I'll finish one of those.
You've got time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a kind of buffet, so you just have a book for whatever mood you're in.
Well, I agree with you. Obviously, I'm usually reading multiple different things at any given moment. So, and for those of you who are just joining us, we're on a slight comfort break. We're taking it in shifts, which means that you get me and Sue talking about what we're reading until the boys come back and take over for a bit. But we are talking about what we're reading. So I got into a bit of a kind of a reading drought where I had like 6 or 7, maybe 8 books that I had on the go, and I just couldn't bring myself to finish any of them. And then a friend of mine recommended that I try Dungeon Crawler Carl, the lit RPG stuff, and I hadn't read any lit RPG. I was like vaguely aware of the genre, but didn't entirely understand what it is, and I still don't think I can actually explain it. I did try to explain it to somebody earlier on today, and I completely failed. But I'm going to try again, and if the people listening have got a better explanation of what they would consider lit RPG to be, then you should absolutely put that in the chat and I might use it. But it's like a book where the characters are aware that they have statistics and stats and powers, and they talk about them in this kind of metagaming, oh, I've just got an item that's given me a 5% rise on my constitution kind of way. But I don't know how it's done in other lit RPG books, but in Dungeon Crawler Carl, there's like a really, really good in-fiction reason why this ordinary human man ends up in a situation where he is aware of his stats and that sort of thing. But the books are just, I've never read any other, so this is my only example of the genre, and I'm told it is the best example of the genre, but they are just very funny, very cleverly plotted. I'm not going to say he's as good as Terry Pratchett, because frankly, nobody is.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody out there, but there's only one TP, and there will only ever be one. But it reminds me of Terry Pratchett in the best of ways.
Yeah.
So I'm on the 3rd Dungeon Crawler Carl book.
Oh wow.
Oh, you're on Dungeon Crawler Carl, are you?
I'm on Dungeon Crawler Carl because they're just
man.
really, really readable. They're just,
Yeah.
they just, as our friend Ralph would say, they just slip down so easily, which is just such a good explanation. So I'm reading that. I'm reading. I know I'm quite late to this party also, but I've just started reading Sookie Stackhouse novels. I've just finished the first one. I'm about a third of the way through the second one. The Southern Vampire True Blood books. I'm reading World Building for Game Designers by Steve D. Not very far into that. And I'm about to start reading Stephen King on writing.
Well, I might be able to convince you to play
while we were in the loo.
Yeah. I mean, you'll go motoring through them there.
Well, I have a spreadsheet of what I've read this year and what I intend to read this year.
And you've reached maximum row limit.
No, I haven't reached that yet. But like, I have a joint spreadsheet with Liz of this here parish. She's also been on Black Armada Tales, and we've had a joint spreadsheet of what we have read and what we intend to read, and we've had that going for easily over 10 years. I think it might be clocking in at 15 now. Every year we have a spreadsheet, and every year we've filled it in throughout the whole year, and we have like 15 years worth of spreadsheets of our reading habits. But this year's and what you should take for that is that I read fast and I read a lot, but not necessarily super high quality.
Fast and loose.
I'm not reading Crime and Punishment, people. I have read Crime and Punishment. That's not something I need to revisit in my life. What I'm reading now is Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Well, I've just bought Ex Crawl Classics, which is basically Dungeon Crawler Carl, like Dungeon Crawl Classics, but in a TV format like that.
Oh,
and I was thinking,
have you read Dungeon Crawler Carl?
No, I haven't, but everyone tells me all about it, and it's like I think
it would be very much in your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I think you'd really enjoy it.
It really
Yeah.
sounds a bit like the new Jumanji films.
Yeah, it is. It is a bit like the new Jumanji films. Right, it's time for me and Sue to take our comfort break. I don't know what topics you boys
what
have
we're going
got
to talk
lined
about.
up to
I'll
discuss.
talk to you about my tomatoes in the garden if you want.
You're welcome to. Yeah, I was fixing to talk to you about the game we played last night, a new board game we've got. But you talk about tomatoes.
Go on.
Well,
More interested in tomatoes.
Yeah, somewhere or other, somebody recommended to me the Fast and Furious board game, which is basically like a co-op game. You get you get a little plastic vehicle, which for the starting one is a tank that you have to try and hijack or destroy. I can't remember. You got to destroy it. And you're in your little cars. You get your little Fast and Furious characters in their Fast and Furious cars. You've got to do like car stunts and stuff with your little plastic cars against various SUVs. So in this mission, the one we did last night, you can only damage the tank by crashing NPC vehicles into it, basically.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so you like run. You can't hurt the tank at all, but you're running around trying to kind of flip all these enemy SUVs over so that they crash into the tank and damage it.
Oh, it's pretty neat. It was a neat little board.
Yeah,
so I can see the tank in the picture.
It's cute. Like
it's a bargain as well.
you can do things like get out of your car and climb onto other people's cars. In fact, by the end, only one of us had their car still intact, and everyone else had hijacked an enemy SUV and was driving that, or was surfing on the top of one.
It sounds like our Apocalypse World game that we played.
It's very Apocalypse World. Yeah, you could just run it as a forget about Fast and the Furious. It's just Apocalypse World car game.
Yeah, you could just glue spikes onto all the vehicles.
And it comes with a little helicopter as well, so I'm excited. Like, what happens when you play with?
So there's like multiple missions, is that? So
there's only three scenarios, but they're quite. Yeah, it feels like if you did all three, you'd got your money out of the game.
Your money's worth it, yeah. And they've not done an expansion. Presumably they were planning on doing sequels, which meant that there was no actual connection to the previous scenarios in any way at all, much like the movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether there's any more. Like, I to be honest, I just read that it was quite a good co-op game, and I'm always on the lookout for good co-op games because I think we quite get on with co-op format, and I thought it'd be good for the kids. And then I found it on a website, can't remember which one, for £10. So I was like, well, £10,
yeah,
for a board game, that's incredibly good. So I'll just have that. Yeah, so it's good.
Yeah, well, we're back
Does
into
that compare
game
well
season.
with your tomatoes, Ed?
Well, I was just going to say the tomato. We've still got tomatoes to harvest, but they're in the greenhouse. And talking of spiders, there are absolutely millions of spiders in there now. The ones with the stripy legs. So it's a bit like a terrifying ordeal to make a salad.
So you mean the ones which like they build their invisible net right across the thing, and then you get like an inch away from the web and realise there's a spider hovering right in front of your eyeball.
Yeah.
And then they look all offended, like, hey, what are you doing? And it's like, you just
weaving here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm weaving here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I bet ours is. We have a polytunnel which is defunct. It needs fixing, but like it's full of old dead plants and has massive rips in it from where our cat has decided it's fun to climb up the polytunnel and sit on top of it like the king of the world. And then when he gets down again, he's like, "Ah, shit, I got to get down somehow. I guess I'll just insert my claw into the plastic and sort of rappel down."
Wow,
it's a cool move.
Yeah.
So
pretty sweet.
But that is no doubt full of those spiders.
Josh, two things now I'm back and I'm fully comforted from my comfort break. Number one, you should give everybody an update on where we are on the campaign. And number two, you should tell everybody who's doing our layout and who did the amazingly cool logo.
Yes, I should. Well, while you were in the lavvy, we hit 50% funded. So
sorry, that was a bit loud. Sorry.
To the toilet more often.
So just stay in there until it's funded, okay?
It's not hard to do that, Josh, because you know I like to hydrate, and anybody who listens to our pod knows how well hydrated as a person I am.
Do you think that's a compelling stretch goal to be like, I'm not coming out of the toilet until we hit 200% funded? Yeah. And yes, layout by the excellent Nathan Powletter. If you have seen the quick start or the shiny slipcase that is advertised on our front page, those were created using Nathan Powletter's amazing layout skills. And yeah, I absolutely love that slipcase, by the way. I will just mention it. It's our kind of, that's the thing we really want you to get, because it's just a gorgeous slipcase with both of the books in it and a fancy map, campaign map by Jog Brogson. So we've tried to make it as beautiful as possible and for as reasonable a price tag as we could. I should also mention that quick start. You can get the quick start if you go down to preview the game. Is that what it says? Yeah, preview the game on the Kickstarter page. There's a link which will take you to a place you can get the quick start sent to you. And then you mentioned the logo as well. The logo, I've had some very positive comments on the logo, and rightly so, because it's an excellent piece of work.
Beautiful.
By Andrew Lukin, who's done a number of TTRPG logos. I don't think he's actually a role player, which is quite funny, but somehow he's become like the logo maker to role players. So yeah, I was directed to him by people on the Industry Network Discord, I think. And yeah, it was a good call. So I really like his little combination of kind of weird ritual circle with technological looking font. Yay!
Love it. Love it.
I should also say, of course, I also have Becky writing for me. Becky's writing a whole bunch of scenarios for this game, including a campaign length mystery. So yeah, and obviously I am writing some too. I think we've got like at least a couple of dozen scenarios, so you can keep playing this game for a pretty long time using that. Right, back to the flashback. We're flashing back. For if you have only just arrived, we are doing a flashback. This is part of the game's mechanics, where you create a flashback for the characters every so often before at the beginning of each mystery. Basically, you define a bit of their backstory. We have created. God, this is quite hard. I might have to rewatch this video to work out what the hell we've done. But basically, we've got this weird tech guy who may have been part of setting up Orion, Sue's character Orion the Relic, and awakening them from their ancient sleep and programming them to serve bad people, who was using automata to perform a magical ritual because they needed to perform it over a course of years in space, and possibly using
space,
like abilities that humans do not possess, in order to resurrect their dead child, maybe into a body, but accidentally summoned a horrifying spider demon. Is that right? Oh, and there's like one of the automata has become sentient and is still out there. Yes.
Pretty straightforward, really.
Yeah,
covered all the bases.
Could easily written that in 5 words.
Basically, loads of long-term villain threads for you, Josh.
Yes, and that is the fun of it, is that they can come back, and not just me though. Like, part of the game's mechanics is that you guys get to theorize as to what's going on, and the game's mechanics can make your theory come true. So if you wish to, you can say, "Ah, yes, this feels like that dude who we never named, Kaiser Soze, has returned." But we've got to answer a few more questions, and I think as we were just before we went into the comfort break, Ed, you were saying we've kind of answered them, but let's try and explicitly answer them as well as implicitly. So the remaining questions were: So this is like for an individual person. What did you prioritize over bringing the villain down, and how did you nearly catch them, and why did it fail? That feels like a fun one to answer that we haven't yet answered.
Yeah.
Well, so how did we not catch them earlier on? I thought we discussed the fact that we had them in the palm of our hands and we didn't catch them.
Okay, but I
Maybe-
think the implication of the question is that you not just could have caught them but didn't, but you actually nearly did. So maybe
there was an opportunity after their identity had been revealed.
Yes.
exactly.
Yes, I like that.
No, I'm thinking maybe they offered Orion something, some secret information that they found out about you, that they promised you. What about something like that?
Wait, and then what happened? You think Orion like let them go because of the?
Well, I'm checking in with Sue. I'm checking Sue's face to see how down with this she is.
I'm
the innocent.
intrigued. I am intrigued. It sounds like we're setting up a trap potentially for them. Like they've offered Orion something, and is Orion like?
Oh, I see. You're saying, oh, we tried to. I was thinking we almost caught them, and then you had an opportunity to catch them, but you were off. He offered you something, and you let him go. Is what I was thinking.
Oh,
and whether he made good on that promise or not is a different matter. But would Orion do that? Is the question.
I don't know. That's
to
really
find out
hard.
about their origin. Maybe some insight into your origin or past or something that he found out when he was repairing you. That's what I was thinking.
I'm just thinking because Orion is quite a. We haven't really talked about roles yet, Josh. Did you want to get into that at all?
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
So in addition to the archetypes in Ex Tenebris, you choose a role. So archetype is like kind of your profession, I guess, or your kind of special, your power set, and role is where you sit within the team. Because it's a team game, it's important. We've all role played together quite a lot in team games, and occasionally you get a situation where everybody thinks that they are the rebel, or everybody thinks that they are the leader. And so what Ex Tenebris tries to do is let you kind of decide that at the beginning of the game. Agree amongst yourselves, like if maybe you can still decide to have two leaders who are in competition with each other, but at least you're doing it on purpose rather than by accident. So everybody chooses one role, and that role then generates the interesting relationship questions that you're going to have with the other characters to help build some interesting interpersonal tension at the start. You must have mentioned that because you wanted to talk about your role, Sue.
Yes. So Orion's role is pure. So Orion is, and I chose pure because I thought it's an interesting contrast to have this killing machine who's also almost quite childlike, like quite naive, quite principled and cheerful. It's been quite fun. It's been really fun to play so far. So I'm wondering. So I really like that idea, Ed. I don't want to make
on your shadow track that you've got.
yeah, squeaky clean. But I'm thinking about. No, you go, Becky.
I was just going to say, what I think that you should factor in, Sue, if you take it, is that I've taken the one, why do I blame myself for letting them get away? But the one that is being proposed here is that you wouldn't be blaming yourself for letting them get away. And I think that makes it even more interesting. If you said yes to this, what is it about the situation that means that you don't feel there was any blame to be had attached to you?
Oh, that's also quite interesting. Because I was also thinking there is another person who would be quite interested in as yet unknown knowledge of Orion, who happens to have had
Oh,
dental
yes.
treatment today. But I don't want to make. Obviously, I don't want to make decisions on Nick's behalf. But I feel like that is
that's a good alternative as well. Yeah.
tasty fruit that he might not be able to resist.
I think that you make an excellent point there, Sue. Should we just like put a pin in that and say possibly Nick, and we'll check in with him?
Yeah.
Or you could just
let's-
Slack him now because he might be around for a quick Slack message.
Like, my guess is if he were in good shape, he'd be watching this right now. So,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
but I mean, what if we just said that somehow an attempt to catch this person went wrong, and perhaps it was because of a sabotage from within the team
Mm.
in exchange for some illicit information.
Yep. Which may have been given or not, or may still be owed and may appear at some point.
Ooh.
May be honoured at some point further down the line, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's nice, Ed. I like that.
That's really
Cool.
good. And that means that Josh doesn't have to come up with it now. But he
Or
will
it
have
could
to
be
come up
part-
with it
it
later.
could- you will have to honour it.
Is
I
there
feel
anything
like
else? Is there anything else we can manipulate Josh into having to honour by having him make promises on the live stream?
Yeah, so
Oh,
while this person was there, they also made us a really big gun.
Did you guys want to talk about your roles quickly, or?
Good call. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did briefly mention it. Mine is grim dark, which I guess is sort of pessimistic, standing in dark corners, being a bit gloomy, seeing the sort of negative side or the cynical side of things. So, which I guess because I actually played the innocent in the previous game, so I've gone for a total contrast this time just to see. Plus all the sort of internal issues with the team, it felt like the right fit for me. Plus, it means I bounce off Orion quite nicely as well. I think that's quite nice.
Yeah.
Because I've got kind of connections with the other team, more historical connections. So I thought it would be better to have sort of personality-based scenes where it's a bit like, Batman, Superman kind of situation, I guess.
And
Nice.
I've taken the leader. I took that because in the previous game, the previous playtest that we all did together, I played the Ruthless, and I really enjoyed playing the Ruthless, but I didn't. Why are you laughing? You were in that game.
Yeah, because you're basically ruthless leader. That's like your remit.
Yeah,
So you just slice them into 2 games.
It's true. So basically, I've given myself 2 roles, taken the previous role because I couldn't quite let go of it.
Just flip them round.
But just think, in a grim, dark game, you need somebody who's prepared to make the tough decisions. And now I'm making them as your leader. Previously, I was making them as
backseat driver.
As a backseat driver.
As a puppet master.
Required legitimacy for my ruthless decisions. But yes, so I've taken the leader. I think I just wanted to kind of say, like, for me, that's part of what having the party roles is not so that I can only be one thing in the party ever, but just so that we're kind of clear what our niches are, so that we can have more fun playing into them, and it creates a more interesting dynamic. I've definitely been in games where everybody wanted to be the rebel, and if everybody's the rebel, then there's nothing to rebel against, and it can kind of, I know, just it can fall a bit flat sometimes. So it was nice to kind of feel like, oh no, okay, well in this situation we've got a niche, you can play hard into it, and through that you can just make just more opportunities for interesting story, I think.
Yeah, I also you think about your archetype and how that relates to this as well. changes the way you think. They combine into different interesting combinations. So like an innocent tarnished badge would be quite a different thing, right? Like they might be trying to make amends for what they've done or something. Whereas,
Yeah.
you know, so it makes you start thinking about, whereas it's very easy to sort of hand wave the rebel, right? And say, oh, that's what I am. And then you create your own definition of it. Whereas when you're very deliberately thinking about the combination, it helps
Yeah,
you
I
come
love
up with
that.
more of the backstory and things as well. So I quite like it.
What's
I like it. I think it's
Hamda's
good.
role, actually?
I was just trying to remember that. I can't actually, off the top of my head.
Arch villain.
Is he the
Yeah.
reformed? Or no, that's
No,
an
reformed is a
archetype, isn't it?
Archetype, rather.
See, I said archetype.
He should be the reformed if I have my way. He will be eventually.
I'm going to look
Hamda
it
is
up.
the tearaway.
Oh yeah.
He's the rebel.
He is the rebel.
He's the rebel.
Yeah.
It's always
he is.
one.
And it's very unlike him to do that. In the last few games we've played, I think, so it's quite nice to see him in that.
He's
that
quite
role.
an easygoing rebel. He's kind of just more of a like cocky,
Looking for
boy.
angles. Yeah.
I was actually going to say though that I think that one of the cool things about then choosing your role is how it can interact so interestingly with the character relationship questions, because all of the archetypes have character relationship questions. But I was just thinking that he's the tearaway and I'm the leader, and there are roles. But in terms of the character relationship questions, he's the character that I go to as my sort of confessor, and so I think that wouldn't be a dynamic that you would necessarily see between the leader and the tearaway, but the questions kind of allow you to make those really interesting character choices like that. And I just wondered, have you guys found any kind of interesting interactions like that in the system between the different bits?
Well, as I say, the innocent grim dark thing is definitely something.
Yes,
I think
that's been really fun. Yeah.
And I think it's solidified, like, again, it's that sort of tearaway, grim dark. I'm very serious, but I kind of know what Hamda's up to because we've got a past with each other, so we can sort of play off that as well. I think so.
I think we're getting some good mileage out of tearaway innocent as well, actually, because
we are.
What with you being an innocent relic with a tearaway technocologist, you've kind of got this interesting dynamic where Hamda's kind of trying to poke and prod at you and get you to see the world from outside of strict boundaries, and you're kind of trying to understand the world, but coming from quite a well-defined worldview of yourself, strangely fixed view of yourself, really.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it says the description of the role is that I'm principled, but it's like, okay, well, whose principles? Considering I'm kind of, learning, I've been learning stuff for the first time. It's like, okay, well, if Hamda's kind of holding my hand through this, what kind of principles am I learning then? It's quite interesting.
The principle of holding lock-picking tools while the doors are getting opened.
Okay, I think we should. We've got 20 minutes left on the clock before we said we'd start thinking about wrapping up. So, I want to know. I think Galen, you haven't answered the question, but I like in my mind, by implication of everything that was said, you are the one who nearly caught this person, but we're not able to do so.
What did I prioritize over bringing the villain down?
Or how did you nearly catch them? Is that what it says?
I thought nearly catch them. Oh, was that?
So we know why it failed, but I
guess what I'm trying to get to is, like, is there a scene that we can imagine? I think we know that there was this big battle with the demon spider or the whatever it was, which you presumably took them down.
Yeah, stuffed it back in, sewed it up. The big broom.
And then, like, somebody ran back and took a quick picture and put it on the front of a game.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining there might have been another scene where Galen, perhaps away from the others, was trying to had had this realization of who this person might be?
Well, yeah. So, what did you prioritize over bring the villain down? Was the thing I was thinking about, but
Okay.
And I think I'm going to introduce this. This is a bit of an insight into future Galen history. So I think Galen found out that her grandfather was dying, who is a well-known detective in the Peacekeepers, and she left her post in this sting to see him for the last time.
Oh man!
Wow.
It's upset you, isn't it?
Well, I am
This
beginning to
this
wonder
will
about the coherence
explain
of this team. With like one of you's like, oh yeah, I'll fuck you all over if it means I get to learn some secrets. And the other one's like, actually, I've sorry, I gotta go. It's my grandfather.
I've got a Tesco shop arriving in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
it was a
Tamsy's like,
Tesco shop.
where is everyone? Why is it so quiet here?
Well, maybe we were together on the operation, and something happened which meant like I chose to take care of them rather than do the thing that I was there to do.
Yeah, sounds fine to me.
Or Orion was like, no, it's okay. I've got this. You don't need to be here. I've got big guns. I can easily bring this person in. You go and spend those last precious moments. And then you went, and then what happened? Or maybe it was Hamda. I don't know.
Or maybe Orion thought that they could do this, but Hamda like pressed the kill switch.
Yeah, that big off button that Data's got.
Yeah.
In his
Do not touch.
Clunk.
Yeah. So I think maybe my grandfather maybe was our watcher.
Oh,
nice.
And yeah,
I love that.
Is he the reason you got into law enforcement?
Yeah, totally, 100%.
If you were to compare your grandfather to a fictional character from like TV or something, who would your grandfather be?
Oh man, that's really putting me on the spot.
Oh, sorry.
You have to answer the question that we previously asked that you're allowed to wait and answer later on. I'm thinking Humphrey Bogart right now, but how could you Humphrey Bogart?
Is he the one in the Maltese Falcon?
Yeah.
It's fine because he's dead, isn't he? So I don't need to worry about ever role playing that character. He's been dead a long time. Not coming back.
Actually, you know I've got a move, right?
The hat.
What move?
The hat.
Oh, the hat move.
So I was thinking when I talk to the hat. Have you ever seen True Romance?
Yes, we did it as a movie night movie, didn't we, Sue?
And
You're
when
the keeper of that
Clarence
spreadsheet.
has these sort of moments to himself, Elvis Presley appears in the background and speaks to him about stuff and gives him advice. So I was thinking that when I talk to the hat, I'm actually, there's like a conversation between me and my grandfather.
Ed, for the benefit of the listeners, Ed, tell them what that talk to the hat is. What is that thing?
This is a special move. I've got to dig it out now. You've put me on the spot again. Hang on, I've got it here.
Well, don't tell me you haven't got the spreadsheet open, for goodness sake, man.
No, but I have got my
character keeper open.
Once per investigation, you can have a detective monologue in which you review what's been happening and reflect on it. When you do, choose cynically comment on the motives of the NPC. Take a lead on the investigating them. Say where you've seen this before and reveal a clue from a previous case. Talk about your feelings and clear D6 shadow. So this is me having a conversation with my.
So you want a force ghost of your grandfather, is what I'm hearing.
Well, no, I mean it's never clear whether it's Galen's just like in the same way Clarence does it. It's not really Elvis Presley, is it? That's what I'm thinking.
I've just seen Siege 34's comment. What's the hat move? Is it the Fedora Noir move? Yes, as far as I can tell, it is. It's like the Fedora
It has its
Noir.
origins in me originally
Yeah.
playing a fedora.
You originally played the hat when we played Fedora Noir, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes.
It's quite funny because
Possibly
I've never
what
played
Becky
Fedora
Strong would.
Noir. You just said, can I have a monologue move? So I called it Talk to the Hat because I'd heard about you playing Fedora Noir.
Yeah.
I thought it would be funny.
Yeah. So that's my plan. Is that when I talk to the hat, you're playing
Nice.
Humphrey Bogart.
Okay,
Gosh,
well, fine.
go
I
back
guess
to-
I'm going to have to watch some Humphrey Bogart now. Do you know when you created your other watcher, your current watcher, I had to go and do a load of research and watch videos of cranky Cockney women smoking and giving advice, and now I've got to go and watch Humphrey Bogart. So thanks for that.
That's all right. I thought you would have watched Beetlejuice.
I think I did watch a bit of Beetlejuice. Yeah. I went back and I watched the bit from that movie that we watched that I can't remember the name of.
The Chris File.
Yeah, Chris Files. And there was another character who I connected into it, but I've forgotten who they are as well. So this is brilliant content, obviously. Sorry, everyone.
Joan from Escape from Tentacle City.
Yep. That as well.
Yeah, Joan. Good old Joan. All right, nice. Well, we clearly don't have time to actually resolve that scene, and you've not given me enough meat on the bones to to do it anyway. So I guess I'm imagining some sort of slightly chaotic stakeout that breaks down as various people either aren't quite where they were expected to be, or
yeah. So I'm thinking as the spider is emerging, the bits of the hive city are sort of falling apart around the place. So I'm wondering whether there was an injury or an accident that happened as a result of that.
I think with that sort of scene, it is also legitimate to say that we were so busy kind of protecting civilians from the fallout of this thing trying to emerge and trying to stop the thing to emerge, that it was easy for things to slip.
Yeah.
People to make bad decisions in a moment, which had things been less
another
chaotic.
way, maybe like because you were very thinly stretched, only one person was in a position to do anything about this guy, and we haven't yet quite nailed down because we want to involve Nick, whether it's Nick or Orion, but whoever that person is, they did not do it, and the team were scattered, and therefore.
Yeah, if only Hamda hadn't been at the dentist, we probably would have caught the guy.
Sorry, we've just hit 100 backers.
Woohoo! 100 backers.
Yep, we just hit 100 backers. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
If that's you in the 100, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, 100th backer. You're the dearest backer to our hearts at this time.
Every backer is the dearest backer to our hearts.
That's cool. Yeah. I am going to start wrapping this up because otherwise we won't actually finish in time. Let's try and do a mock stinger, shall we? What's everybody been snacking on today? Black Armada Tastes.
Black Armada Tastes.
For those who don't listen to the podcast, this is a regular feature where we talk about what we're eating. It is more interesting than it sounds. I have had a delightful slice of Becky's homemade pumpkin bread, which is like a banana bread, but with pumpkin and with chocolate chips. And it's very tasty. Very spiced as well. I'm not sure what the spices are, but very nice.
Cinnamon and ginger.
Cinnamon and ginger, I was going to say.
It's like a parkin.
It's not like a parkin. Are we going to have the parkin discussion again? So parkin.
Marx is not here, so we can't do that.
Marx isn't here. Well, I feel I need to explain, and I need to explain why it's not a flipping parkin. So parkins are a really, really dense oat and like treacle based slab, which you can pretty much kill a man with if you hit them too hard. Is it anything other than oats and treacle, just like forced together? I'm not sure. It's a
It's
northern.
not flapjack.
It's not. It's like worse than a flapjack. Flapjack's.
It's like an evil flapjack.
Nice. Yeah, it's like an evil flapjack. I am not a fan of parking, which will probably get me thrown out of the north where I live. But then I also don't drink tea, which gets me thrown out of England. So, but it's really, really thick and dense. Whereas this is like a banana bread, so it's like a normal cakey texture.
No, it isn't.
It is.
Right.
It's denser than cake. Like,
Dominic says when he was in England, he saw jammy dodgers and he had to buy them because he couldn't help but hear the word in your voice, Josh.
Well, there are lots of different jammy dodger types
that's
now, aren't there?
amazing.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the fact they've changed that you can get different jammy dodger flavors now.
Well, no, don't say that, because Jammy Dodgers, if you'd like to sponsor us.
Yeah, actually, I won't turn down free jammy dodgers.
Yeah, even a shit Jammy
flavour.
Dodgers is still quite good, I would have thought.
Yeah.
There's a pork scratching sponsorship deal run out then. So what's happened?
That's just Christmas,
Looking
isn't
for
it?
new-
That's just
the
an
Christmas thing.
anonymous person sending you pork scratching.
Yeah, trying to kill me with kindness.
Are they pork or are they something else?
Mm.
Oh, well, it tastes fine.
I can't make the Dominic's joke about the Jammy Dodgers now, because it relies on some pronunciation skills that I don't possess.
But you've been learning German for the last 6 months.
It's Jammy Dodgers.
Jammy. What's
Jim,
the out
Jimmy,
out?
Jimmy.
That sounds Australian, Josh. Not.
Yeah, I'm not sure about
it's
your
the-
German
the
accent.
A
You
with
need to
the
work on
umlaut
that,
is
dear.
like an sort of a noise. So I am right, and I'm sure Dominic's going to confirm that any second. Dominic, don't let me down, please. What else have people been snacking on? Quick, we've got to wrap up.
Not much snacking, but on Saturday we tried to recreate the hot dog meal from Weapons. If anyone knows that,
No, I haven't watched it
it
yet.
won't mean anything to anyone if you haven't seen Weapons. But there's a particular scene with like a tray of hot dogs and stuff, and it's it just, I saw it and I thought, well, now I just really want a load of hot dogs.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
I would like to
to
buy
cite
some more hot dogs. We've run out of hot dogs, and I am a fan of a hot dog. So gonna go back to the Sausage Man's website, which is a real website.
Love the Sausage Man.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, but I'm not buying any more of his sauces, because those sauces sat on our shelf for a really long time. And
Those are
manky.
industrial sized sauces.
They are.
Too much. I just want the
Too
hot dogs
big.
now.
It's too big. And one of them came in a bottle that looked a bit like a bleach bottle. And even though like I knew it wasn't, I couldn't quite get over the fact that it looked like a bleach bottle. So I know it's ridiculous. I know I probably should have just decanted it into a jar, but I couldn't. Have I talked about the tamale lady?
Oh yeah,
pod?
you ordered some. Yeah.
You might be ruining a future stinger to talk about it, but you may as well.
Oh, it's too late
Well,
now.
it's a special bonus treat extra for tuning in to the stream.
So somebody on Blue Sky, when I was on Blue Sky saying that I really wanted to try tamales, and like we live in England, we live in the UK, they're just not a thing. I know that if I lived in LA, I could probably just walk to the corner of the street and go to some sort of small stand and get the most amazing tamales you've ever seen in your life. But that's just not how it is in the UK. And I really fancied trying to make them, but I didn't want to try making them before I'd eaten the real one, because then I don't know what I'm aiming for when I'm trying to make them. And somebody on Blue Sky put me in touch with a lady called Deb, I think Deb's Tamales. She's got a Facebook page, and I ordered 2 lots of tamales from her, a beef brisket one and a pork one, with and they come frozen. They come frozen, and you can put them in the freezer. And then she gives you instructions on how to steam them from frozen, so you don't even have to defrost them if you don't want to, which is brilliant. And so then I did a whole thing where I made loads of like pico de gallo and I made chipotle mayonnaise. I don't know how like authentic that is, but chipotle mayonnaise is really, really good.
It is found in all Mexican restaurants in the UK, and
Really
that's
good.
what makes it
It makes it good.
authentic.
And me and Josh really liked them, but they turned out to be just incredibly nice, but massive and absolutely filling. And then neither of the children really liked them. So now we have like a freezer full of massive tamales that only Josh and I are going to eat.
Yes.
And I kind of feel like that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about those, so I think we should get some out of those out for lunch.
I think we should. There's 6 more, and they are massive. So that's
Do I have
probably
to go
like,
on Evil Facebook to order them? Though, is there like a non-Facebook user
I
channel?
I
That's
can hook you up with an email address, but I'm not
Sweet.
going to
With
dox
the
the poor
dealer.
lady online. But I'll let you
not
have her
flooded with
email.
orders.
Yeah, because it'll be like when The Guardian reviews a holiday
Yeah.
destination and suddenly it's just everybody descends on it. You're so popular that the tamales will just be, you know,
I don't think so, but I do
inundated.
think she's one of those ladies or people like the Japanese bakery lady near us, who does it kind of like, she's got like a proper health like rating for her kitchen and everything. She's been like assessed by the local council's food safety people and all of that. But you send her an email. She replies saying, "I'm making these 3 flavors of thing this month. Which ones do you want?" You have an email exchange, and then they arrive in the post. Or in our case, we drive 25 minutes to the next village or the next town over, and the Japanese bakery lady hands us a Pullman loaf. It's very nice.
I don't got anything like that around here.
There's another lady on the south coast who I used to buy kimchi from, and then again it was like I would email her, she would then email me, and then kimchi would just arrive in the post.
I bet you do, Ed. I bet it's just like Becky's got skills. I would never have found out about these things.
Yeah.
So you should just get Becky to like research your local area, and she'll tell you what weird and wonderful cuisines you can get. All right, I think that's good enough for Black Armada Tastes, and I've got to do a wrap up before we run out of time. So thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Becky, Ed, and Sue, and thank you to everyone who's been watching and supporting the Kickstarter. Hope you've enjoyed it. In the time we've been online, we've got 105 backers, and we are some percentage funded that I can't work out in my head, but quite a good one, I think. It's like it would be a really high number, super big.
The biggest numbers. That's not 100%, because if it had been 100, we'd have screened online.
Yeah, it's not as much as 100, but it's more than a lower number. And so Ex Tenebris is on Kickstarter from the 9th of September to the 9th of October. So in the unlikely event someone's watching this stream who hasn't already pledged, please do go and check it out and pledge your support. And there is a link to the campaign in the notes to this video. Also, if you enjoyed listening to this session, or even if you didn't, then check out the Black Armada Tales actual play podcast, which is also linked in the notes. We're currently playing Ex Tenebris on the pod. But you can also go back and find some of our other stuff. We played all sorts of amazing games like Apocalypse Keys and Tentacle City and The Between and Last Fleet and lots of other stuff. It's great. We've been doing it for years now. So yeah, check it out. Anybody want to mention anything else before we wrap up?
Thank you to everybody who has come and watched us on the live, and thanks.
And especially thank you for all the lovely comments. Lovely to see some of our listeners and community members showing up. Really cool to see you guys, including Davey, who can't hear anything we're saying because he's
like a mime.
Right now. Hope you get to listen to it later, Davey. All right, let's wrap this thing up, and I'll see you all next Tuesday for.
You got your Humphrey Bogart to practice.
Yeah.
So
get Casablanca on now. It will be over faster.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I'll just watch it on double speed or something on YouTube.
It's gonna just be a squeaky Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, if he seems like he's talking really fast, that's just the way I do him.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. For sure. Brush your legs. be very emotional.
Good.
Anyway.
See, I don't even need to look it up now. Right. Thank you all. See you
All right.
all.
See you soon, guys.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
I have ended this.